This episode of the Getting Chicked podcast is presented by Zappos. Zappos is an online retail destination for the best in footwear, offering the selection and expertise runners need to take on every day with confidence. Zappos carries an extensive assortment of performance running shoes and go-withs from leading brands including Hoka, Nike, Brooks, New Balance, Asics, On, and more. With thousands of options spanning categories including road, trail, and race day. From first-time joggers to marathon vets, Zappos has been a trusted destination for runners for over 25 years. Check out the latest selection of footwear on Zappos.com or in the Zappos app. Follow at Zappos for new releases, community spotlights, and more. Now, over to the show. Welcome back, everyone, to the Getting Chicked podcast. It is just two of us today, Megan and Rachel, but big news for the chicks. Our very own Rachel DaDamio is engaged.
I know.
Show us the
so
ring.
Crazy.
Show it for the YouTube audience.
Okay.
We got to get those subscriptions up.
Yeah, true. Guys,
Wow.
subscribe. No. Yeah.
Wow.
Clear.
It is absolutely gorgeous. You went with gold for the audio listeners. It's what would we call it? A rectangle? What's the type of ring?
The technical term, which I've learned so much through this process, is a radiant. It's like a radiant cut, which means the edges are sharp and like the cut itself is like sparkly.
So you picked out this ring. First of all, congratulations, by the way.
110%. Thank you. So we can get into this, but you already knew this was coming. I feel like everyone in my life knew this was happening except me. It's kind of fun.
Yes, I got a phone call yesterday while I was at the park with my daughter from Karen. And I was like, why is Karen calling? And Karen I had terrible service, by the way. So I apologize to Karen because I was definitely cutting in and out. But I did get the gist of what she was saying. And that was that you were getting engaged, but to not say anything. And I do have a rather large mouth, and so it was very difficult to not chime in with a text. Last night before I went to bed, I was like, did it happen yet? I don't know. There's a time difference. What if something changed? So when I got your text today with the picture of the ring, I not only exhaled a massive sigh of relief, I was just so over the moon for you.
Thank you so much. Yeah, this is yet another life event that we have experienced together that is before we've actually laid physical eyes on each other.
I don't believe it. It's not real.
I told Theo, like, you know how people have like a first look with their like future spouse at their wedding, like on their wedding day or whatever. I was like, I'll just have a first look with Megan at our wedding. It will literally be our first look.
Oh my gosh, we have to do a first look, you and I. I think that might be more important than you and Theo having a first look.
I think definitely. Because it's actually a first look.
That's so wild. Okay, so give us all of the details. We want to know how this night unfolded. We want to know about the ring. We want to know about the proposal, the after party, everything that went into this magical day.
Okay. Yes. So I don't think I've said this on the podcast before, but I think this will be of interest to runners and other, athletic people in general. But I basically had two rules for the proposal. Not rules. He asked me if I had any preferences, right? And I'm like, not really, but there are two that I have. One is I'm like, I cannot have it be in in a very public place. Like if people start clapping, like I will lose my mind. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Like if it happens in a restaurant or something and like they're like, congrats to table 7, I would like lose it.
Like you didn't want to get engaged on the Jumbotron of a sporting event.
Okay, so funny story is, and I'll get into this, it's a little out of order, but we were at dinner later that night. And our waiter was like could not be more opposite of me and Theo. So him and his wife, he was like, I proposed at the Giants game like years ago. They've been married for 25 years. But I was like, that would be my nightmare. But I'm so happy for you. So we were getting a kick out of that. But my other rule is that it couldn't have anything to do with running.
Your life has a lot to do with running. You're doing running podcasts, so that's difficult.
Yes, not these days, but specifically what I meant, and I know people feel all types of ways about this, but I think like I didn't want to get engaged the day like after a big marathon or like after a big race, because I think when you get engaged, you want it to be like your guys' day, like both of you. And I feel like when I'm doing a race, I feel like that's kind of like my thing that I'm doing.
Yes.
And like it would be like, oh yeah, that's so fun and special to like. Also, there's always the risk the race doesn't go well, and then like you really don't want to get proposed to.
It's true.
So I was just like, let's separate church and state. Like, so those were basically my two stipulations, but I kind of wanted to be surprised. I feel like you don't get surprised very often as like an adult. You kind of plan your life.
Wait, before we dive in, I do want to just put this out to the listeners. If there are any dudes who have planned a proposal around a race and it didn't go well, I want to know if you like kept the ring in your pocket and said, you know, we'll save this for another day. Like I want to hear like, hey, I was going to propose at Boston, but she didn't run well, so I decided maybe not. I would love to hear if there's any stories like that as it relates to running. Please DM us at Getting Chicked.
I love that. I would love to know what you do in that situation. I think there is so much Theo, like now that we're past the weekend, right? And like you just appreciate all the planning that goes into it and how stressful it must be to keep. Well, he told a lot of people. Somehow it didn't get back to me at all. Yeah, it's crazy. As in like he had told my friends and my parents and his parents and my siblings, because he was trying to like orchestrate, you know, people coming into town for it. So anyway, I think where was I? I didn't even get past a minute of the story yet, but I was in the office all day on Friday, and I kind of had suspicions going into the weekend that I was like, maybe it'll happen this weekend, but you never know. And so I was driving home from work, and I talked to my grandma on the phone, and I talked to my mom, and they both knew it was happening. My mom was literally in San Francisco when I called her. And so she was like, I was freaking out. Like, what do I even say? She had to make up a whole story of what they were doing this weekend. But I didn't catch on at all.
And you don't share location with your family.
So the only person I share location with is Audrey. But she took me off of her shared location. And I miraculously never got the notification. You know what I mean? When like you go to someone's name and it says text, they started. Like stopped. Nope.
Wow.
So that was really lucky. But she had a whole story planned because she was just in London. So she had a whole story planned in case I saw it of like, oh my gosh, my phone got messed up in London or whatever. And that was going to be her reason. But no, I didn't even notice.
Wow.
But she turned off her Strava. Which Theo actually told people to do. He was like, Rachel only has Strava. So you can't, like, she will see your Strava if you're in town. And so Audrey had to make her Strava private for like 3 days. So I didn't see that she was in Palo Alto, staying with like Stanford friends.
Wow, Strava would have totally ruined the whole thing.
Totally. And also so Audrey and I share the same massage therapist, and she went to see him this week, and she had to be like, Mark, do not tell Rachel that you are seeing me. Don't mention that I'm in town. Like, so it's just funny. So really, I had my suspicions were mostly because like I overheard Theo talking to his boss about like something that seemed like a little bit suspicious. Because his boss was asking him about the proposal, not knowing that I was like home. And so Theo was trying to be like, oh, no. He was like, not yet. I'll let you know on Monday. But I could only hear his side of the conversation. So I was like, that's a little fishy. And then he had a friend visiting under like the pretenses that he was in the Bay all week for work. But then it turns out that his friend wasn't in the Bay all week for work. And I kind of like picked up on that. So I had like a little bit of suspicion. But yeah, we had plans to go to a bar like down by the water in Fort Mason where we live. And we like walk, when you walk there, it's kind of right along the water, but like there's a specific path you can take that's like not very trafficked. And so we kind of like, we normally walk that way, so I wasn't like so overly suspicious, but I like kind of had a feeling. So like walking that way, and he like, we stopped to look at the view or whatever because you can see the Golden Gate Bridge, and he was kind of looking around. Like, I'm like, what are you looking for? Like, and he was looking for the photographer, and but he couldn't see him, so he kept on looking around. And then at this point, I kind of like knew it was gonna happen, but you don't want to come out and ask it in case like it's not happening, and then you're like kind of disappointed, but you don't want to let that on.
Too.
Yes, and I think just like nervous because I'll get into like the whole weekend too. Obviously, we had talked about getting engaged, like. It wasn't like, oh my gosh, is she gonna say yes? It was more just like, is everything going to go to plan?
Yes.
And so he ended up not seeing the photographer, but still like doing his little speech. And but then after we got engaged, the photographer like came out of the bushes and we did some photos. And then he was like, okay, we're actually not, we're gonna go get sushi with friends. And he was like, we're not doing that. We're actually going to a different restaurant. And I'm like, okay. So we get into the Uber and go to...
When you had the ring on your finger, like, have you stopped looking at it yet? Like, do you just keep looking at your hand?
I do keep looking at my hand, and I keep, like, touching it to, like, is it still there?
It's the best.
It's so fun because I'm not really a jewelry wearer.
Uh-huh.
I like... Yeah, I'm not someone that has had, like, a Pinterest board of, like, what I wanted. I didn't know really anything about engagement rings before I started like looking at them. But it's so much fun. I like
the whole ride to dinner. Like Theo tells you we're going to a different place. Are you just like in awe?
Yes, I love it.
Okay, we can talk about the ring. I want you to finish your whole story of all of these amazing festivities that Theo put together.
Yeah, he did such a good job. So then we get to dinner, and we walk out of the car, and I see his parents in the window. And I'm like, oh my gosh, your parents are here from Columbus. This is so crazy. And then I see Audrey, my sister, and I like freaked out. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe she's here. She's starting a job on Tuesday. She was just overseas. So like I was like so surprised. And then when I saw her, I knew my parents were also here, or I figured. So then my parents came in, and they had never met before either. Like our families have never met. So that was fun to like we were all meeting on this like such a special day. And like I felt like I couldn't like stop smiling. It was so fun. And I feel like I was actually talking to Karen about this morning, but like the way I would describe getting engaged is it's like more than it was like emotional, like it was almost like an adrenaline rush. Like I can't compare it to anything else except like when you're like so excited, like almost like so excited to go race, like the adrenaline, and you're like, oh my gosh, I could like stay up all night. Like I'm so excited. Or like after a really good race when you just have so much adrenaline. So of course I relate everything to running.
You have to. And I think everybody who's listening to this podcast can totally understand exactly what you're saying. That just like beaming ear to ear smile and like a big life event, and just like your head hits the pillow and you're like, wow, today was magical. Yes. I was like, I wish I could relive today, like over and over again. And so then the next day, he didn't tell me anything that was happening. He was like, there'll be like some surprises throughout, like basically so this
tomorrow.
Was Friday. You got engaged.
So Friday night we got engaged.
Okay.
And then Saturday, he basically was like, tomorrow there'll be some surprises. And so I was like, okay, don't know what that is. But we had people come over to our apartment. And so, again, our families both came over. And then Theo's sister came in and her husband from Detroit, which was really special because we actually went to Taipei for their engagement, like when we first started dating. Wow. And side note of this, they are so kind. But I was like, should I not be in their engagement photos? Because
You just
I'm like
met
the new
Theo.
girlfriend.
Yeah.
Not just met, but like we had been dating less than a year, but I'm in all their engagement photos, so thank goodness it worked out. Um but anyway, it was very special that they were there too. So that was a surprise. Theo's friends, or both of our friends from Chicago, a couple of them came in. So that was a surprise that morning. We just did like coffee and donuts and kind of hung out. And then the big like event was Theo had planned like an engagement party at a brewery that we really like in Bernal Heights, this neighborhood in like the south part of San Francisco. And my two best friends from high school flew in. One from New York, one from Ann Arbor, Michigan. And like I kind of could believe it. I was like, oh, this, like they would be here for this, but also this is like so kind. And I just felt very loved and like
There's nothing better than when people show up, right? For those moments.
oh my gosh, yes. And it was so fun.
Because, like, we all know how crazy and hectic life is, but, like, they made the decision that no matter what was going on that weekend, that this was the most important thing and that they were going to get on a plane and be there for you, which is just,
yes,
like, so moving.
Yeah, and I do not take it lightly because I know what a pain in the butt it is to get here. So, like, it was so nice. And our local friends came, too, which was really fun because, like, we've just, like, loved living here. I'm really glad we got engaged here because I feel like we met and we started dating in Chicago, and then now we have this like really special thing that happened in San Francisco. So I feel like it's just like it ties you to this place like forever of like, oh, this is like such a good memory. And yeah, it was just like really, really fun and special. And then today I feel like has been great. I feel like it's been like getting our life back together of like, oh yeah, we have to work. We're going to work tomorrow. But we'll get dinner. Theo's family is still in town, so we're going to get dinner with them after this. And just been like cleaning the house, kind of doing like all that stuff. But it's like so, yeah, it's so exciting.
So amazing. Congratulations. I just don't ever want the happiness from this weekend to fade away. I think it's so special. But I do want to hear all of the details about the ring. You had something in mind and you helped Theo pick it out?
Yes. Okay. We're cut from the same cloth, Megan, because we both, I believe, picked out our ring top to bottom. Did you?
Yeah, that's, in my opinion, that's the only way to do it. I know a lot of people, like we just said earlier on the show, there aren't a lot of surprises in life, and a lot of people want the ring to be one of those few surprises that you get to experience as an adult in life. Me, if I'm going to be wearing it every day, I wanted it to be something that I liked. And not that I don't trust my husband to pick it out. He would have picked out something beautiful regardless, but maybe it wouldn't have been exactly what I had in mind. And I think that's a big, like, there's so much pressure into, like, planning this weekend, right?
Yes.
Like, you had to call all your friends, you had this engagement party, you had the dinner, you had the donuts and the coffee, like, everything. And then he's got to decide on this ring as well. I mean, that's huge.
Yes.
So I think that takes a little pressure off. And it also made it fun for us. We're like, we went and we were like, let's pick this up together. Like afterwards we went out to dinner. Like that was a fun day as well. The worst part was like picking out the ring, knowing what it looked like, and then being like, wait, I can't have it now? Like, I have to wait?
Yeah. And so did you, when you went, was it like, you were like, I want that one?
No. I made it.
Okay, same. So you actually don't see it. You never see it all together. You see things that look kind of like it. Mm-hmm. You maybe see the stone and you see the band, but you see them separately and you make these little adjustments here and there. And like, so you really don't see the whole thing until you see the whole thing, which I think that's as much of a surprise as I needed.
But I thought it was useful. Like I always thought I wanted an oval. And then when I tried the oval on, I was like, oh, the oval does not look good on my hand. Now, there's some people it looks fantastic on their hand. It's just not look good on my hand. And then when I tried yellow gold on, I was like, wow, I love the way yellow gold looks on me. And I used to think I would want silver. So I think I learned a lot from like going to do the whole process.
Yes, I think I feel exactly the same way. I think I'm a little bit too much of a control freak to like want to be completely surprised by something I'm gonna wear every
Runners,
day for
control
the rest
freaks?
of my
Nah.
life. Yeah, what? Us?
Yeah,
Control
not
freaks?
us.
Not a chance.
No.
I'm so chill. But yes, so I did pick it out and I knew he had it, but we didn't really and I knew it was going to happen sometime between now and the end of the year. So I had like no idea when it was going to happen. But obviously it wasn't like a complete and utter surprise. Like we had talked about it and picked it out together.
Now, are you going to run in your ring?
So I wanted to ask you.
Oh,
I
do
felt like that was a
everything in my ring.
good
Everything.
discussion question. Okay, so you always leave it on, you run in it.
I don't take it off ever. Like it's on my hand. I used to wear my wedding band below my engagement ring, but then I got a different ring and now I wear my wedding band underneath like my push present ring on the opposite hand, and I just wear my engagement ring alone. But no, I don't ever take it off. Like I wear it in the shower. Today I was at the beach, I wore it in the ocean. Like I wear it when I'm running. Taking it off gives me anxiety that I'm going to lose it.
Yeah, fair. Okay, what about lifting? Because is it not in your mind forever that you're not supposed to lift with rings on? I actually just lifted today and I did not take it. I did not wear it to the gym.
I wear it when I lift.
You do?
I do.
Okay, I'm so curious from the listeners, like what? I feel like there's no right or wrong answer. Like I'm like, I don't know. I think I could totally run in it fine. I just haven't been running, so I obviously don't know. But I think people do all sorts of different things.
I have some friends who like they don't wear theirs all the time. My makeup artist Amber, she has a gorgeous ring. She never wears it.
Oh, interesting. I mean, maybe that her job. She's like, oh, I'm like,
'cause she's using
dipping
her
my
hands a
hand.
lot.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
doesn't
she
wanna
does
get it
hair,
dirty.
so all of that.
Oh,
so
yeah,
totally. I mean, I could understand that. And I do know a lot of people will wear like the silicone band when they're lifting or when they're running. I just, if I start taking it off, there's a chance that I'm going to leave it somewhere. And I don't want to risk that. So I leave it on for everything.
Okay.
And I even have my wedding band is like the full, like, it's like the eternity band full around.
Yeah.
People on the YouTube channel can see. Yeah, when I first got it, I was nervous that I would, like, some of the diamonds would fall out. But no, they haven't. And diamonds are very durable. I guess, like, the story about a diamond is they're supposed to be very hard, right? It's like a hard stone, and that represents marriage. So, like, a diamond, it's not fragile, I think.
I think you're right. I've been telling myself that. I'm like, yeah, I'm just doing whatever. It's like you can't stop looking at it.
I know,
Anyway.
it's the best. It's the best. Like, also, yours is probably so shiny and clean now. Like, whenever I get mine clean and the light hits it, I'm like, ooh, I should do this more often. Like, right now, it has sunscreen and sand. But yours is glowing, as it should.
Thank you. Yeah. So that's my tales from the trails. I guess I did get engaged on a trail, so that works.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wow, it's hard to top your tales from the trail. I don't think it's
what
possible.
have you been up to, Megan?
Well, I moved, which was great, exciting.
That is a big life event.
Yeah, massive life event. We are home. This is our house, and feel so proud and accomplished that we were able to make this all happen. I absolutely love my new morning running route. I think one of the key considerations that we've talked about on this podcast, based on where you live, is like, how is the running? And where I used to live, the running was not good. And the running where I live now is so much better. It's making a drastic impact on my life. It might be my favorite thing about the new house. Just my
I think
morning
that's
running
so
route.
Reasonable.
Yes. And I also, people will appreciate this, the hill that is like, my neighborhood is like a circle. It's a dead end road in a circle. And the hill going up to the dead end is a perfect heartbreak simulation. So if and when I ever race Boston again, it is over for you bitches, because I'm training on heartbreak every single day. Every run, when I finish it, I go up the hill and I think about heartbreak. And today at the end of my run, I did 7 hill repeats right in front of my house. So heartbreak in Connecticut is on my street. And it's going to get me ready for one day tackling Boston again, which I don't know when that will happen. Boston and I have kind of a troubled relationship. I've never raced well there, but one day I will get my redemption at Boston, and I'll be ready for heartbreak. And it's over for all of you bitches because I live on a heartbreak simulator. So that's been really exciting. I did take a week of no workouts when I was moving because it was just a lot. Like anytime we got a break from our daughter napping, it was like, okay, we got to put this away and get this room together and get the Wi-Fi up. And one of the downsides is I do live in like a complete dead zone. And I'm so embarrassed how much this impacted our life because we didn't have Wi-Fi for the first 2 days. And like, oh my gosh, phone calls, everything. Like we had to go to the high school to get like to make a phone call. And it was difficult like when you were like scheduling the internet service is going to come out, like setting up all of these things and having phone calls to make. Thankfully, my office was closed, so I didn't have to worry about any work-related things during the move, which was nice. Finally, we got all back up and running, and then a storm rolled through and we lost power for 16 hours. So those were a few hiccups within the move. But other than that, everything went so smooth. I did not do any quality sessions, no intervals, no workouts. I did run 6 days of the week. It was also really hot. So I think it was kind of just a good time. I wouldn't consider it like time off or anything. It was just like I didn't have the mental capacity to think about what my splits were going to be for 800-meter repeats because I was worried about like where we're going to put all the furniture. So I said, let's just hit pause. Let's run in the morning and take this all in and we'll get back to it next week. And I was a little nervous heading back to the track this week. And it was great. I'm happy to report that I do have a new training partner. His name is Dylan. He beat me at the local half marathon in my town. He was the person ahead of me, but we ran a good chunk of the race together. So we exchanged contact information after the race, and we've been working out together on the track, which has just been so fun. And I don't think you find this that often, but like Dylan is the type of guy, if you're like, hey, we're going to run 82s. He won't run 79. He won't run 84. He will give you exactly an 82. And it's just such a joy to do workouts with him. And we've been switching off where it's like, okay, I'll take the first, you take the second, Yep. It's a world of a difference having somebody to do workouts with. So that was really a thrill. We did some Ks, we did like a 8-6-4 situation. And I'm just so happy that I have someone to meet up with and do workouts. We haven't been doing like regular runs together, but once a week at the track has been a game changer. So I'm back, had a threshold run this week. And yeah, there's a local 5K in my town this week, and I'm kind of like hemming and hawing. Should I run it? It's a nighttime sunset 5K. It's going to be 94 degrees that day. So if I do it, it's just going to be like, hey, we're out in the community and this is fun. And if I don't, it's going to be because sometimes like racing on a day like that can do more harm than good for your psyche. So that's why I'm hemming and hawing,
Yeah, I totally get that. It's hard when the weather, especially in heat too, things just feel so much harder than they should or normally do. For a 5K, like maybe you could get away with it. I think a hot marathon, 94 is so hot.
I know. It's so
I'm
hot.
like, but that's really hot. I don't know. I get it either way.
Yeah, it's just hard like when you feel like you're in a place where you've built some really good fitness and then to run a race and be like, well, maybe I'm not where I thought I was, which is what happened to me at the half. And I'm not going to lie, it did mess me up a little. Like I'm fine. I'm fine. I have had good workouts and I know that like it's just one day and it's just one race and I don't need to overreact, but it stings. So I don't know. I'm just kind of debating now, like, is that something I want to do?
Yeah.
Can I be okay with whatever time it is and walk away from the night and being like, I had so much fun today? And I don't know the answer right now, but hopefully by Wednesday night I'll know the answer and then maybe I do it. Well, hopefully by Tuesday night I'll know the answer and maybe I run the race on Wednesday. We will see.
Oh, the race is on Wednesday.
Yeah, it's a Wednesday night 5K locally like down by the beach in our town. And yeah, it's supposed to be so fun. Like the after party is great. So like all of that stuff. But I also hate to be the person. And I think listeners can probably relate to this. Like, and I was this person a little bit at the half when people are like, oh, you won. And you're like, yeah, but I ran so slow. And then people are like, shut up. Like, and so it's hard, like, in those races, you know, you don't want to be that person. And so you want to, like, take the congrats. But, like, internally, you're like, oh, I really don't feel great about how I performed today.
Totally. It's the difference between, like, I know objectively this was a good result, but I know I am capable of more. It's like, and anything, it can be like that. Like if you get a good grade on a test, but you messed up something that you know, it's like that feeling, you know, where you're like, it could have been just a little bit better though, you know?
I know, and then when you say it to everybody else, they're like, shut up. Oh my God, you won the race. Can you just relax? And you come off a little bit obnoxious. But real ones know, and I think like this is a safe space where everybody who's listening can probably relate to that in some way, shape, or form. So yeah, that's my like little update on running. I think I'm going to sign up for the New Haven 20K road race. It's the USATF 20K Championships. It's always a fun one to do. It's on Labor Day.
Yeah.
So I think I'm going to sign up for that. I was going back and forth on if I was going to do Falmouth or not. Unfortunately, it's not going to work for my life schedule, which is a bummer when my life and work and family priorities get in the way of my sub-elite running dreams. But
hate when that happens.
Such is life. Do you have any injury update for us?
Yeah, so mostly I would say things are good. I kind of did hit a bit of a wall on Tuesday because I have basically 4 out of 5 days this week I've been going to appointments, and all the appointments I pretty much go to are in the South Bay, so like an hour from where I live, and then I'll like, you know, go to my appointment, go to the office all day. So it's just like an all day, and I'm like, play the world's tiniest violin for me. I'm fine. But I think I started to have this feeling where I'm like, I can't do the thing that I love, but I'm also spending probably more time on these like doctor's appointments. Of course, like unfortunately medical care can be very expensive. So there's like that stress too of like, oh my gosh, I'm spending like all this money to like still be injured. But honestly, okay, this weekend I'm like, feel like I'm on such a high just life-wise. Which is a good reminder for me that like, okay, this feels obvious to say, but I think in the depths of my like sadness, it's like good things can still happen when you're injured. You can still like feel this happiness even when, you know, maybe you don't feel your best physically or like mentally. You know, I haven't been getting the like endorphin rush that comes with going on a run with friends. And so I think I'm still on such a high from the weekend, but I did up my weights in PT, so now I'm doing like weighted goblet squats, weighted farmer's walks, to kind of just like stress that area more and like try to like basically prep my body for eventually, you know, running. And I think this is actually the first time. So I've had this injury twice before in college. I probably wouldn't say, it's like I don't remember too much, and I don't necessarily think that care was bad, but I think this time I'm like, it's probably better. Like I'm probably like seeing more specialists and like, because I don't remember ever having like a personalized lifting plan related to my injury in college.
Yes.
I don't know how normal that is.
Which is like crazy because you were doing this at the Division I level at like a top university.
Okay, yeah, it kind of is crazy. I don't know, but I think that's like the norm.
I know, unfortunately, I think that's how the system kind of is, right? And especially with like a smaller sport like cross country or distance running, you sort of like your strength and conditioning coach, I mean, at least ours was always like working with the football team and maybe was like a grad assistant.
Totally. It's like oftentimes, I mean, I really liked our strength coaches, but like sometimes I don't know that running is their first choice of who to work with.
Yeah, of course.
Which is fine. I mean, it probably wouldn't be mine either if I were a strength coach. But, you know, I think this is the first time I'm really doing like targeted lifting to like start really small and like gradually make my way up. And so I'm hoping that like we're stressing the bone in the right way, to like prep myself so running comes back, decently well.
How's the pain?
It's okay. I would not say I'm like pain free, which is the ideal. I would say like I feel fine. Like it's maybe like a 1 out of 10. Like it's
Okay.
not so painful, but it's just still there.
Yeah.
Which is I think most, I guess, people that I've talked to, like medical professionals, would say they want you to be like 0 out of 10 before you start run walking. So I'm not there yet.
And then you started your trial, right?
I started the clinical trial, so I've been doing Shockwave. I've had 2 of that, assuming I'm not in the placebo group. I've had 2 Shockwave treatments. I have 2 more, so 4 total. And then I get a follow-up.
I hope you're not in the placebo group.
So if I'm in the placebo group, they'll give me Shockwave after the study's over.
Okay.
But yeah. And as part of the study, I mean, you get a lot of other benefits too. Like you get access to this really good care team. You get follow-up MRIs. Oh, I got a DEXA scan.
Oh,
a
how
bone
did that
density
go?
scan. Amazing. My bone density is great.
Which is great news.
Is great news. And I had this suspicion that I had gotten a DEXA. I think I did get a DEXA at Notre Dame, but I got my medical records back, which this is a whole other conversation, honestly, a can of worms. But I got my medical records from Notre Dame, and I was looking through them, and it was like crazy to see. It's like looking back through your history of like this crazy time of life. And a couple things jumped out to me. One is that at one point, my ferritin was an 8.
That's insane.
Like,
and you had no idea.
I mean, I definitely at the time, someone definitely told me because it's in the notes that like you need to be better about your iron supplement. I'm like, yeah, I definitely do. So no, I think someone definitely told me. It was just so long ago, I don't remember the numbers. And then also that I saw Karen posted out the bod pod. I thankfully did not see my bod pod. My bod pod numbers did not make the medical records, thank goodness. But I guess we had to take a survey on like body image when we came back from the summer. Mm-hmm. And it actually made me very sad because I was looking at my survey responses and maybe we'll cut this out, but my survey responses were like, you have your weight, you have your height, and it's like, are you happy with your current weight? And I 1 year put no, and that I wanted to lose weight. And I feel like that just made me sad I don't remember that at all. But I'm like, oh, that is it's a hard time. I feel like a lot of people probably feel that way in college, even if like I luckily never struggle with an eating disorder. And so I was kind of surprised to like see that in my chart. Anyway.
It's crazy how in college, whether you struggled with an eating disorder or you did not struggle with an eating disorder, like the topic of disordered eating and eating disorders was like always present and kind of always at the top of mind. And so I guess in a way we all were impacted by eating in some way, shape, or form.
Totally.
And I think that's just like really hard to get out of,
Yeah.
I remember like team meals being really stressful and like my whole perception of food and body image was stressful just because we were in this world where it was front of mind for everybody.
I know we could have a whole episode on this topic, but yeah, looking through, so I feel like some of the silver linings of like even having this injury are that I would have never gone back and like looked at my Notre Dame records. And now I really have this whole like progression too of like my ferritin levels for 5 years I was there. I have like, the exact like months that I was diagnosed with these stress injuries. So it is kind of interesting to look back on that stuff and like see. And I do think I was sad to see like the low ferritin, whatever, but also my responses on those surveys. But in some ways, it actually makes me feel so like I'm in such a better place now in my life, like mentally to heal from this injury and physically. Like I don't have low ferritin now. and I have really good bone density. So like I feel like all of these things are working in my favor now, and like they weren't back then. So it's like hopefully my recovery will be easier now than it was back then.
You've evolved as a runner. College running is such an interesting time and something I think about a lot, especially now that it's summertime and when I'm heading out the door to do my run. It's like you gotta load up with the sunscreen. I personally always grab a hat, and I couldn't tell you the last time I ran without sunglasses. I feel like it is a necessity to run with sunglasses, but this is a post-college thing for me. And I can't even fathom how I ran any race, practice, easy run, anything in college without sunglasses. And I just want to know, like, why aren't people racing with sunglasses in college? Why is that not a thing?
This lives rent free in my head. This is like my Roman Empire, thinking about this, sunglasses in college running, and one other thing that I know we've talked about before, gels. Why was I not taking a gel in college on my 12-mile long run? It's crazy because I feel like the minute you graduate college and you enter the like real world in running, everyone wears sunglasses. It is weird to not weird to not wear sunglasses, but pretty much everyone wears sunglasses, and a lot of people, myself included, race in sunglasses. I would like, even if it's not sunny, because I'm like, well, just in case the sun comes out, like I don't want to be these eyes can't see what's the inside of your eye, like your iris. I'm like, these can't see the sun.
I remember at Eugene, I forgot my sunglasses like in the athlete warm-up area. And I was standing at the start line, realized I forgot them. It was too late. And I wanted to yell to my husband to go get the sunglasses because he was standing right by the area. But I was so nervous. Like, they saw me without them at the start. The last 2 miles, I was squinting the whole time. And I did have huge regrets for not running. Whenever I run anything without sunglasses, I have regrets. The only exception is when it's raining. I cannot wear sunglasses when it's raining because then they do fog up.
Yes, I think that's fair. But it's so weird because no one wears them in college. Like, there's like very few people. I think so. I think it's kind of there's a few unspoken rules. And I feel like at least when we were in college, one of them that was that you don't wear sunglasses and also that you don't time your races. I don't know if people do this now, but like,
yeah, I never timed my race either.
it would be weird. It would be really weird to have like a GPS watch go off in a race, in a college race. I would be like, what are you doing?
Is this because in high school we're like literally weren't allowed to wear watches?
It's a good point. I feel like,
which is another bizarre thing.
Okay, I feel like if I were a coach, I would really not want my athletes to wear watches in a race, because in a college race, you shouldn't be worried about time at all. You should just be worried about like being competitive and being, where you're supposed to be in the pack versus like, am I running a 5:10 for my first mile of the 5K, or am I running a 5:20? It actually doesn't matter at all as long as I'm in like a position. Whereas I think now when we run more, we love to compete and we talk about this on the podcast, but at the same time, I think in road racing, it's a little bit different. Like even the pros in road racing, they're definitely competing against each other, but they also all wear watches. But on the track, pros are not wearing watches. And in cross country, they're not wearing watches. So.
Yes, it's definitely different. There's more elements to it as well. Yeah, that's a good point. Sarah Hall does throw her watch, and I respect that, because there's been a lot of times where I've wanted to throw my watch. But if there are any college runners out there, or post-college runners that have thoughts on this, or college runners that are like want to wear sunglasses or are afraid, slide in our DMs and let us know. Also, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about, before we get into our questions and our product recs, about track etiquette. This has come up a little bit in my morning running group. I mentioned Dylan, my new training partner. I also have a new running friend that I think I told on Tales to the Trails. Kate is her name. I met her at this local half marathon too. So hey, I ran a shitty time, but I made 2 friends, which As an adult in your 30s, making 2 friends in one weekend, that's massive.
That trade-off is honestly worth it.
Huge. I would do the race 100 times out of 100, even run slower if I got these 2 friends out of it. But Kate is my new running friend, and she's been coming to the track at 6 a.m. on Wednesdays. And she had asked this week, why do we always run one direction on the track? Shouldn't we be switching it up? And I didn't really have an answer for her. And I guess it's like, there is track etiquette. We know this. But when do you have to like implement the track etiquette?
I think this is a good topic. And it came up too because I have been really appreciating, the listeners have been amazing in giving me swimming tips. So thank you so much, because I walked into the pool the first day and I had no idea of the etiquette. And I can only imagine that people feel the same way on a track, because it's kind of a similar environment where you have a lot of people that look like they know what they're doing. And if you don't, you feel like everyone's staring at you knowing you're the new person. And the messages I've gotten from swimmers, which, did you know ex-collegiate swimmers call themselves swammers? I wish we had something like this in running.
Ranners?
Like they're like, I'm a swammer. Like I used to swim.
I like that.
Isn't that
we
cute?
have to come up with something.
I know. So I think there's like a couple things. One is, why do we always run the same way? But we do. I think it's only okay to run the opposite direction if you are the only person, or like your group are the only people. Yeah, or if
you're like cooling down and you're in lane 8.
Lane 8, yeah.
Yeah, I'll do my warm up sometimes like in lane 8.
And you'll run in the opposite direction.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
But if I'm like doing a rep, I don't.
Yeah, because I don't think you really can. I think the only exception to that is oftentimes indoor tracks have like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we go clockwise, and then Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, we go counterclockwise. Mm-hmm. So that, like on the DePaul indoor track in Chicago, you go different directions on different days. So that's the only exception, but an outdoor track is not like that.
So the other rules, right? Like you pass on the outside lane. If you're running slower, move to the outside.
Yep.
We always go in the same direction. If you're going the opposite direction, get in lane 8.
Get in lane... Yes, if you're going opposite... I think if you see someone walking or jogging, you can say track. And if someone says track to you, that means you either move to the infield like a step, or you move into lane 2. That means they're coming at you fast from behind, and I also think if someone is clearly doing a workout and not as fast as you should pass them on the outside. You shouldn't say track to them. If someone is walking or jogging, you can absolutely say track to them and have them move to the outside or inside. So I think it's like you have to kind of like assess like what someone's intentions are. I think if you're walking or jogging or doing like a normal run, you shouldn't be in lane 1 or even lane 2.
And track can come off as a little passive aggressive. So we'll try to say it a little nicer.
Yeah, right. Let's see what else. If don't abruptly stop, because there might be someone behind you. So like if you're doing a rep, kind of like jog and then like veer inside or veer outside. I mean, that's more like if you're on a busy track, but like in Chicago or where we work out at Stanford, it's very busy. So you do kind of have to like, I can think of more. I mean, this is like just spewing off rules. It could be overwhelming. But another thing is like if you are about to start a rep and someone faster than you is coming in and like gonna start another lap, don't start your rep until after they pass. So then they don't have to pass you like immediately when you're starting.
Yes.
I think that's like kind of, so mostly it's a lot of common sense things, but again, like nothing is common sense when you're new.
Yeah, so, especially like people are just trying to get into running. It's like, oh, my first time at the track, I just got screamed at by all of these people. They were yelling track and I didn't know what it meant. I will never go back to that location again. So yeah, I think those are the only ones I can really think of. If you're doing like I say obviously, but I don't know, maybe someone's never been on the track. If you're doing like a hurdle situation or you have like plyometrics set up, I think that's something that you would do, like way down by the end of the gate, you know, in that little area where it's not on a turn, probably in lane 8. But also if you're running at a school, probably have to do it either before school or after school.
Yes.
After school is tough because there's a lot of practices going on. But it's funny because in different areas I've lived, track access has changed so much. Like in Florida, getting on a track was next to impossible. Like you had to have keys or you had to know somebody. And also the tracks in Florida primarily were like asphalt tracks. Which wasn't great. And then last year we were on vacation and we stayed in Pasadena. And thankfully, I knew some running friends in Pasadena, and they were actually able to get me a key to a track. But similarly, it's harder in the Los Angeles area to just hop on a track. Here in Connecticut, if school is out, the tracks are pretty much open.
Yeah. And then anywhere I've lived, so Chicago and San Francisco have like public tracks, like city tracks. They're not connected to a school or anything. Which I'm surprised those don't exist more because they are so well utilized in both of those cities. Like, so many people use them where I'm like, it's such a good investment for a city to make because I mean, obviously everything's expensive, but like in terms of what you could do with the space, it's probably not super expensive and it's so well used. But yeah, even like the Stanford track is open. I think the Notre Dame, actually, maybe you need a key to get on Notre Dame. I don't know. But even, like, it's just so dependent on the place. Like, there are no rules for when a track is available. Like, that is who even knows.
Yeah, we gotta get to the bottom of that. All right. Well, we want to hear from all of our listeners. So please write us at Getting Chicked Podcast on social media or gettingchickedpodcast@gmail.com. We are going to dive into a question from a listener, and the question is for me, Megan. I will be returning to work full-time after my maternity leave. Congratulations. My husband also works out of town, which makes things very interesting. You are such a huge inspiration to me. I'm excited to get back into training in a few months. I would like to go sub-3 in the marathon. That's a huge goal. I'm pumped. If you could give me any tips or anything on finding time to run with work and a baby, that would be amazing. I do have a treadmill and I live in South Florida. I feel like to be the best mom I can be, I have to run, if that makes sense. I also want to make sure she sees her mom living out her dreams. I do plan on formula feeding and I do have a running stroller for when she's old enough. But any tips or heads up would be so greatly appreciated. Also, we need merch. Yes, you are right. We absolutely need merch. And hopefully we can have an update on that for you guys soon. We have some ideas that are floating around. So hopefully we can put those into execution. So first of all, congratulations. Becoming a mom is just life-changing and amazing. And you know, you're really in the thick of it, and I think this is all going to evolve quite a bit. You're going back to work, which I understand has a lot of anxiety around it, but I found going back to work being like a good thing for me. It made me feel a lot more like myself, and it also was good for me to talk to adults, because when you're alone with this baby all day, while it is really wonderful, you know, you're talking to someone who can't talk back to you, and you're doing the baby voice all day. So then when you reemerge yourself into society, you're like, oh wow, like this feels actually kind of good. Yes, I miss my child and I miss all of that, but like it feels good to have conversations with people who can communicate back with me. So I'm excited for you to experience that, but I understand like both things can be true. You can be excited to go back to work and you can be feeling guilty and miss your baby. So all of that is so real. For me, what's really helped find time for my running is I really live and die by the schedule. We live and die by the nap schedule. We were on 3 naps for a lot of the first year. We don't miss naps in our house. I understand this is not for everybody, but this is for me. I followed wake windows to a T. Again, I understand this is not for everybody, but it's for me. Now, certainly there are times when like you want to go to whatever event it is, and you just have to say like, okay, can we go there for a short amount of time and leave and get back for the nap? Is it worth it for us to go and blow off the nap, and maybe the baby will nap in the stroller or nap in the carrier? My child is a child, and this is probably because I did it to her, I always returned home for the nap, so she does not nap on the go. If we go in the car, she's like, I'm sorry, I'm not napping here. In the stroller, I'm not napping here. I nap in my crib and only my crib. So the downside of that was for a lot of the first year of her life, I didn't really get to do a whole lot, because anybody who has a newborn baby knows that they nap most of the day. The good part about that was like I could always rely on, I knew she was going to sleep until 7 because I had her really on this great sleep schedule. So if I had to get a run in before work, I knew I had, if I got up at 5, I could get it done. I work a lot of non-traditional hours, so I could always bank on like that first nap. Typically I'm home because I work late at night, so maybe I can sleep in, get up at 7 when my daughter gets up, and then when she goes down for her first nap, I'm on the treadmill right away. So that's kind of how I try to work it in. Easy runs in the jogger are really wonderful. Today, my friend Beth and my daughter and I, we went for an easy run. I had a long run, but Beth did the first 6 miles, and I took my daughter for 6, and she enjoyed every single bit of it. We ran past the firehouse, we saw a fire truck, we saw a boat, we ran by the water. Like, it was magical for all 3 of us. And the day before that, I did an easy run with her, and the last 2 miles, she screamed and was trying to get out of the stroller. And I'm running through town, and people are getting coffee, and she's screaming at the top of her lungs. So it is kind of hit or miss with the jogger, and sometimes I find going with the jogger is stressful for me, and other times I find that it's like my favorite thing that we've gotten to do together all week. So I think it's a little give and take with both of those. But if you can establish your routine as it relates to sleep schedules and fit your running schedule and your sleep schedule and your work schedule all together, I think that is what has worked for me. And I know that sounds like a lot of juggling, so I'm sorry if that stressed you out, but you totally got this. And I understand needing to run in order to be the best mom you can be, because I feel the exact same way. So I'm cheering you on and supporting you, and I wish you the best of luck. But I highly recommend schedules. Schedules work really well. And I think all of us runners can relate to that, right? Like, we live on a schedule.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, I don't know, I'm not a parent, but I think you've shown me that a lot of the really great qualities that you built as a marathon runner also served you well as like a parent.
They do.
Where it's like the schedule and consistency and like the sleep, I think you call it sleep training, right? Like, you literally call it training.
Yeah, I mean, you have to teach them how to sleep. I think one of the most eye-opening things about becoming a mom is like these kids, they don't know how to do anything. Like, you have to teach them how to sleep. They don't know how to pass gas at the beginning. You know, you see them struggling to learn how to fart. I know it sounds funny to say, but they literally don't know how to do it. And then once they learn how to do it, it's like, oh, it's relief, you know, they don't have that pain in their belly. And the same thing with sleep, like, they don't know how to connect their sleep cycles. So once they can learn to do that, I mean, not only does it make a huge difference for the baby, but it makes a massive difference for the parents as well. I will say to this listener, sleeping through the night comes first. My daughter slept through the night first, and then around 4-ish months, she started napping. But before that, naps were like 40 minutes on the dot. She would nap for 40 minutes and then be awake, and I'd have to go up there and rock her back to sleep and then put her down, and maybe I'd get another 20, and then we'd start the whole process over. Because when they're really little, they just can't connect the sleep cycles. All of a sudden, their brain reaches a certain developmental age, and they can connect them. And it's great. I mean, the downside is, like, you know, we're still on 2 naps, so every day, like 10 to noon, if there's something going on, like, I can't be there. Any day 3 to 5, there's something going on, I can't be there. And I understand that doesn't work for everybody. Like, I know a lot of people are like, oh, I just put my kid in the car and my kid naps in the car. That doesn't work for us. So, you know, it's good and bad, but it's also not forever. These years go by really quickly, even though a lot of the days feel really long. So I think it's just, there's going to be plenty of times in the future where we don't have to go home for a nap. and that's not right now. So we're just living in the now. And I think that you're going to find what works for you, and you're going to figure out your routine. Again, as we talked about at the top of the show with Rachel picking out her engagement ring, us runners, we like to plan. And every day kind of having like a clear-cut idea of what's going to happen, it's helped me, you know? But yeah, and the jogger, just keep working through it, you know? Like yesterday's run in the jogger was so bad. It made me, I shouldn't say so bad. I think we went 8 together. The first 6 were glorious. We stopped at the beach. She ran in the water. My child loves the water. So when we went back in the stroller, it was like, I don't want to run. I want to go in the water. Like, what are you doing putting me back in the stroller? The last 2 miles were really tough, and it made me think like, oh, I don't think I want to do a stroller run again. Maybe I'll just do it on the treadmill. And then today was great. So I would say the stroller runs, just like work through them. You're not a bad mom if your kid is crying in the stroller. There's just like so many of these things that are completely out of your control. If I ever see another mom on a plane with a kid crying, just like tell her she's doing a great job, because like, what else are you gonna do? These kids are so unpredictable. So yeah, keep working on the stroller thing too. When your child's old enough, I think it can be really fun for you to share those moments, because again, like I said, this doesn't last forever, and there's going to be a day where I can't push her in the stroller, and I'm gonna miss the times when she was screaming the last 2 miles and everyone in town was looking at me.
Oh, I love that answer, and I really like that question too, because I think you have like your journey of motherhood to like training and reaching really high goals has been so inspirational for me. I can't even imagine how inspirational it's been for people that are also like embarking on this same life stage. So yeah, I love keep the mom questions
with
coming.
The stroller, I think, are like I use them as a tool, because the stroller slows me down a bit. So I'm like, well, I need to make sure that my recovery runs are easy. So I'm going to push the stroller today. I don't do any hard efforts with the stroller ever. Like, no way.
Yeah.
Pushing the stroller is hard enough. If I don't have childcare and my husband is traveling and I have a hard effort, like I'll make sure I do it on the treadmill. But it's also good, like, you know, anybody who has young kids too, like sometimes you're just looking for something to do. Like you're just looking for a way to get out of the house, and running has provided us with that a lot of times, which has been great. I highly recommend for the colder weather getting one of those little bear suits. And then I also have like a little cocoon thing that goes on the outside of the jogger that she's all bundled up in. That helps a lot too, because I find those winter months really difficult when you're just like trapped inside listening to Itsy Bitsy Spider for the 1,000th time of the day. And getting outside can help. Also, stroller running, I used to think, I'll be able to put in my shocks and listen to my music. No, we listen to Wheels on the Bus the whole way. So it just is what it is. And bring snacks.
Yeah, so prep your expectation.
Snacks.
Yeah.
Yes. So, all right, let's dive into some product recs. And then Rachel, I know you got to go to your dinner. So we will let everybody go. But earlier today, I was talking about sunglasses and running in sunglasses in college. So my product rec today from Zappos.com is the Flynn 50/50 Shield sunglasses, particularly in the color blue. A little bit pricey, but sunglasses are something that are worth splurging on, especially for this high of quality in this color. These are something that are going to last you a while, and it's worth the investment if this is something that you're going to be running in daily. So those Flynn 50/50 sunglasses are my Zappos product rec for today's episode.
Yeah, those are so cool. My Zappos product recs are also eye coverage devices. That's like a weird way of saying this, but I am going to recommend the Speedo Women's Vanquisher mirrored goggles. I bought these, not realizing like these are legit. Like these are, so I bought them, and then I asked for swimming recommendations, and everyone recommended these goggles. So these are like the real deal that all the swimmers are wearing. So I felt very in the know. when I was like, all right, at least I don't have a swimsuit, but at least my goggles are legit. So yeah, the women's Vanquisher goggles on Zappos.com.
No swimsuit, no swim cap, but she's rocking the top of the line goggles.
Yes, I did actually order swimsuit, swim cap, everything, so it's on the way. I just hasn't reached my house yet.
I'm excited for you. Well, Rachel,
Yes.
we are also excited about your engagement.
Thank you.
One of the chicks is getting hitched. It's a very exciting time. I'm wishing you the best with your appointments this week, and hopefully the shockwave goes well. And every week we're getting 1 week closer to Rachel back on the road again.
Yes. Thank you. And we will chat next week. I'm excited.
All right, we will see you all next time for another episode of Getting Chicked.